You've been lied to about weight regain after stopping Ozempic or Wegovy. Everyone says it's inevitable. It's not, but it does require doing something most doctors never mention while you're on the medication. In the next 11 minutes, you'll understand why weight comes back so fast, which hunger pattern makes you the most vulnerable, and the exact strategy that prevents regain before it starts. You've done everything you were told. You took the medication, lost the weight, felt amazing, and then you stopped it. And within weeks, the hunger came roaring back. Within months, the scales started climbing. You're eating more than you did on the medication, but still less than before you started. Somehow you're still gaining. It feels like your body is working against you. I'm Dr. Barbara Hessel, board certified in obesity medicine with over 25 years helping women navigate weight loss sustainably. I've seen hundreds of women come off GLP-1s. Some keep the weight off, many don't. The difference isn't luck, it's preparation and understanding your specific hunger pattern. I'm going to show you the 5 reasons weight regain happens after stopping GLP-1s and what to do about each one. So Ghrelin rebound is real and it's brutal. GLP-1 meds work by suppressing ghrelin, your hunger hormone. While you're on them, ghrelin stays low, but when you stop, ghrelin doesn't just return to normal, it often overshoots. Your body overcompensates, driving hunger higher than it was before you started. This is Ghrelin rebound, and it's one of the main reasons people feel ravenously hungry after stopping. Your hunger after stopping isn't weakness, it's your biology fighting back. I've had women tell me they feel hungry after stopping Wegovy than they ever did before starting it. One patient said, I'm thinking about food constantly. I can't focus on anything else. That's ghrelin combined with leptin dysregulation, and it can last weeks or even months if not managed properly. Think of it like a tight spring that's been compressed for months. The longer it's held down, the harder it bounces back when it's released. Your hunger hormones work the same way. The medication compressed them, and now they're rebounding with force. So if you're experiencing intense hunger after stopping, you're not broken. Your hormones are recalibrating, but you need a strategy to manage them. And ghrelin isn't the only thing that's shifted. This next reason is why the weight comes back so fast. Your metabolism adapted, and not in a good way. When you lose weight quickly on GLP-1s, your metabolic rate drops, and not just because you're smaller, but because your body adapts to protect against perceived starvation. Add in muscle loss, which happens when protein is too low and resistance training is absent, your metabolism can drop by 300 to 500 calories per day. Now you're eating normally, but your body actually needs far fewer calories than before. That's why your friend who's never had to diet can eat more food than you can, even though now you're both the same weight. The calories that used to maintain your weight now cause you to gain. I had a patient who lost 40 pounds on semaglutide, eating around 1,000 calories a day. When she stopped and went back to 1,800 calories, which is a reasonable intake for her size, she gained 25 pounds in 3 months. Why does this happen? Her metabolism had adapted down so much that 1,800 was now a surplus and not maintenance. Think about driving a car that's been in eco mode for a year. Learn to run on minimal fuel. Now you try to drive it normally, but the engine is still programmed for efficiency. It can't handle the increased fuel, so it stores the excess. Here's the diagnostic question. Did you track body composition while on GLP-1s or just weight loss? If you lost significant muscle, your metabolism is compromised and needs rebuilding before you can sustain maintenance calories. And even if you lost muscle without realizing it, this third problem is already in motion. If this is making sense and you want a personalized plan for your specific situation, prescribe now. I release new videos every week with real solutions, not just theory. You've never addressed your hunger code. GLP-1s suppress appetite across all hunger types, but they don't fix the underlying pattern. If you're hungry brain, which is leptin resistant and high ghrelin, medication will mask that. If you're hungry gut, rapid gastric emptying with blood sugar crashes, medication slows digestion temporarily. If you're slow burn, low metabolic rate, Medication reduces intake but doesn't restore your metabolic function. When you stop, your original hunger pattern returns unchanged. Because the medication didn't fix your hunger, it just muted it. Women who succeed after GLP-1 share one thing. They identified their hunger code while on the medication and built eating patterns that work with it. Women who regain, they never learned whether they're hungry brain, needing frequent protein and fiber, hungry gut, needing blood sugar stability, or slow burn, needing metabolic restoration. They just stopped being hungry for a while. So ask yourself, when hunger returned after stopping, what did it feel like? I can't get full. Hungry brain, physical urgency and shakiness, hungry gut, mild but constant hunger, slow burn, cravings or eating out of boredom or stress, emotional. Do you know which foods keep you satisfied for 4 or more hours without medication? Did you practice any hunger management strategies while your appetite was controlled? If you can't answer these, you're navigating blindly. Even if you identify your hunger type now, there's still another habit pattern that's working against you. You didn't build new eating patterns. So when you're not hungry, you eat less, but you don't necessarily eat differently. Most people on GLP-1s reduce portion sizes, but keep the same meal structure, unbalanced food choices, and eating triggers that they had before. So when their appetite returns, it's normal that they would default back to old patterns. The same triggers, stress, boredom, social situations, same food, same portions, because nothing's actually changed except temporary appetite suppression. Eating less isn't the same as eating differently. Women who maintain after GLP-1s, they use the medication window to experiment. They tested which breakfast keeps them full until lunch. They learned what protein to carb ratio stabilizes their energy. They identified emotional eating triggers and built non-food coping strategies. The ones who regain, they thought the medication was doing the work for them. So what to stop? Stop waiting until after you stop the medication to figure out sustainable eating, assuming that you'll just be more careful when appetite returns. What to start while you're still on the medication or starting now, even if you've already stopped. Build a template of 4 to 5 meals that work for your hunger code. Practice portion control with protein-forward meals. Identify and address emotional eating patterns. Create structure so hunger doesn't dictate every decision. Now, here's what you can do starting tonight, whether you're still on medication or you've already stopped. Create a protein anchor strategy. The single most effective strategy for preventing regain after GLP-1s is establishing a protein anchor at every meal. Protein stabilizes blood sugar, reduces ghrelin spikes, increases satiety hormones, natural GLP-1 plus PYY and CCK, and preserves muscle mass. Whether you're still on medication or you've stopped, hitting at least 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal creates a metabolic buffer against regain. Think of protein like the anchor on a boat. Without it, you drift wherever the current takes you. Hunger cravings, blood sugar crashes. With it, you stay stable even when conditions get rough. The waves or hunger still come, but you're not pulled off course. So immediate action that you could take tonight. Build your 3-meal protein anchor template. The first step is to calculate your daily protein target. Take your weight, multiply it by 0.8 to 1.0, divide it by 3 meals. It usually ends up being 25 to 35 grams per meal. For example, 150 pounds times 0.8 equals 120 grams. Divided by 3 is 40 grams per meal. Now, step 2, create your go-to protein anchors. For example, breakfast, 4 eggs plus Greek yogurt, 35 grams, or protein shake with cottage cheese, about 40 grams. Lunch, 6 ounces of chicken breast plus quinoa, 40 grams, or salmon and lentils, about 38 grams. Dinner, 6 to 8 ounces of lean beef or fish plus veggies, 40 to 45 grams. Step 3, this is a big one. Eat protein and veggies first at every meal. Before carbs, before fats, protein goes in first. This maximizes satiety hormones and minimizes blood sugar spikes. Why does this work? Protein increases GLP-1 production naturally, the hormone these medications mimic, reduces ghrelin by 30 to 40%, slows gastric emptying, and preserves muscle during metabolic adaptation. Studies show that adequate protein reduces weight regain by up to 50% in post-diet maintenance phases. Next, track protein for 7 days to establish a baseline. Aim for 25 to 30 grams minimum per meal. Try not to spread it out throughout the day in small meals. Unless you're feeling really full, then eat a protein snack in between. Next, prioritize whole food sources over shakes when possible. That also being said, if you're on the medication and you're not that hungry, but you know you should eat something for dinner, for example, and you haven't hit your protein goals, then drink the shake because we want people hitting their protein goals, but also not feeling sick. Now, this is really important. Combine with resistance training at least 2 to 3 times a week for muscle preservation. Weight regain after GLP-1s isn't inevitable, but it is predictable if you don't prepare. The medication gave you a window. What you build during that window determines whether the weight stays off or whether it comes back. And it's never too late to start building. If you want to identify your specific hunger code and get a complete roadmap for maintaining weight loss, whether you're on GLP-1s, planning to stop, or you've already stopped, the link to my metabolic momentum assessment is in the description. And subscribe for more evidence-based strategies that actually work long-term.